In a segment dominated by domestic products, it's quite amusing to see that a Japanese offering offers the most American feel of them all. You see, the Nissan Frontier, thanks to its low price tag, powerful, naturally aspirated V6 boxy styling, and body-on-frame chassis, is the most traditional and most honest midsize pickup truck on the market. But a vehicle as simple and transparent as this one has some hidden flaws, some of which might be deal-breaking for you. So let's not waste any time and check out the 5 problems with the Nissan Frontier you must know about. Number 5. Mediocre towing and payload capacity. One of the biggest downfalls of this traditional truck was always how untraditionally impotent it is when it comes down to its towing capacity. Seriously, because it comes with a big 3.8-liter V6 engine that pushes out a very impressive 310 HP without the need for a turbocharger, you'd expect it to be able to at least match the performance of the base engine of the Ford Ranger, the 2.3 EcoBoost, but believe it or not, it cannot. You see, the Ranger can tow up to 7,500 pounds, which is a fantastic towing capacity for a mid-sized pickup truck. On the other end of the spectrum, the Nissan Frontier could tow almost 810 pounds less, with its maximum towing capacity of 6,690 pounds. And although this might not seem too terrible, it is practically worse than any other pickup truck in its segment. The redesigned Colorado and GMC Canyon can tow up to 7,700 pounds, while the Jeep Gladiator clocks in at 7,650 pounds. The only pickup truck that could beat out the Tacoma by a hair, as it could only tow 6,500 pounds. Oh, and the Honda Ridgeline, but that's a unibody pickup truck, so it doesn't count here, as it can only tow 5,000 pounds. Thankfully though, this issue has been mitigated with the new 2025 redesign, albeit the refreshed Frontier still isn't real competition for the likes of its American rivals. Its new 7,150 pounds towing capacity is very respectable, and it closes the gap significantly. Number 4. A dated interior. Let's be honest here, up until a few years ago, most mid-sized pickup trucks weren't oriented towards having a cutting-edge modern interior. What counted was how ergonomic and how durable it was. However, times have changed, and nowadays, mid-sized pickup trucks, thanks to their massive increase in popularity, have become a bit more luscious and far more refined in this regard. The Nissan Frontier, unfortunately, did not follow in its peers' footsteps, and its interior does feel a bit, well, early 2010s instead of the mid-2020s. Don't get us wrong, the interior has most of the bells and whistles that its competition offers. However, everything on the inside feels put together without any aesthetic thought, and it just lacks refinement in every possible way. Just look at the steering wheel. Those rounded, over-designed, and overly soft lines are very much more reminiscent of Infinitis and Nissans of the late noughties than modern Nissans do. Plus, the interior quality is also nothing to write home about. Most of its rivals, like the Ford Ranger, the GMC Canyon, and the Toyota Tacoma, offer more soft-touch materials and better plastic overall, which results in them having a less squeaky cabin. Now, these issues were mitigated a bit with the 2025 redesign, which offers better tech and a touch nicer design. However, comparing the facelift with the 2024 model's interior shows that this is more of a skin job than an actual redesign. Most of the new design and tech features have just been slapped over the previously existing stuff, which is far from a stylish solution. This means that the truck still lags behind its competition noticeably. But hey, still better than nothing. Number 3. The cabin is not very roomy. In addition to being mediocre in terms of build quality, the cabin also leaves a lot to be desired in terms of space, especially in the rear. Now, we're not talking about the extended cab, as it is logical that that variation will be extremely lacking in this regard. No, what we're talking about is the crew cab. You see, the rear legroom of this truck is only 32.6 inches, which is 2 inches shorter than the Ford Ranger and the Chevy Colorado, and an inch shorter than the Toyota Tacoma. The Gladiator absolutely dominates this segment with its 38.3-inch legroom, absolutely kicking the Frontier's butt in this regard. Honestly, having a mid-sized pickup truck that offers less legroom than the Toyota Yaris is just shameful, considering how much bigger it is. The headroom isn't much better either, albeit this is also true for most of its rivals too. The Nissan Frontier has around 38.3 inches of headroom, which isn't bad, but putting it side to side with the Toyota RAV4 shows that the truck lags it more than an inch. And an inch in cases like these might mean a world of difference, especially for above average tall adults. That said, if you intend on carrying children, the Frontier's cabin will offer more than enough room. Number 2. Terrible resale value. Unfortunately for Nissan, despite it being a comparable pickup truck next to its rivals overall, it still lacks, well, the desirability of them. As much as we love the Frontier, and we do adore it, all issues aside, the truth is that most people consider it only as an alternative to its other rivals, especially the Toyota Tacoma and Ford Ranger. You see, both trucks offer a more, well, complete character than the Nissan Frontier, which makes them more desirable. The Tacoma is a more off-road oriented vehicle, while also offering a much more engaging and comfortable driver experience on the road, courtesy of its coil spring rear setup, which improves rigidity. The Ford Ranger, on the other hand, just keeps the traditional American spirit despite coming with an inline-4 engine, and you can option it too with the V6 power plant, albeit that one has 2 turbochargers, which give it a bit more oomph and lower fuel consumption a bit. Plus, the Ranger is both more modern and better built than the Frontier, and so is the Tacoma. The Nissan Frontier is torn between being an on-road workhorse and an off-road ready pickup truck. And while it is competent in both regards, it isn't great either. And let's also be honest here, what would you like to tell your friends? That you drive a Tacoma or Ranger? Or that you drive a measly Frontier? No matter what, you'll always feel like you should have worked more to get a more desirable vehicle. As a result, the Nissan Frontier depreciates extremely fast, and in just a couple of years, you'll basically lose all your savings compared to its rivals because you'll be selling your Frontier at a couple of $1,000s less than you would, say, sell a Tacoma for. And while the new 2025 Frontier fixes and improves some of these issues, it also brings a new problem to the table. Number 1. Pricing has gone out of hand. Up until now, the Nissan Frontier's trump card against its rivals was its extremely low entry price point. You could get a V6 powered pickup truck for less than $32,000, which is noticeably less than all its rivals' base inline-4 variations. However, after it was redesigned, the Frontier became averagely priced compared to its rivals in terms of its entry-level trim. The base Model S with an extended cab costs a little over $33,560, which is more than a Tacoma's entry-level trim, as well as the Colorado, which, might we remind you, comes as standard with the crew cab. In addition to this, once you opt out of the crew cab, the Frontier will also become more expensive than the entry-level Ranger, which, albeit outfitted with a 4-banger, is a more capable vehicle as we've already established. The entry-level model's value propositions have practically been made obsolete by the aforementioned Chevy Colorado, as it practically offers a good, middle-of-the-road performance just like the Frontier, but in a more modern package with better off-road performance and with better tech and styling inside and out. Now, once we step up the game, the Nissan Frontier once again becomes a good value proposition. As for around $40,000 and go for the Pro X, you can get a Frontier that is extremely well equipped, which beats out all its rivals, and the top-of-the-line SL trim and the Pro 4X offer good off-road performance and good on-road performance that, albeit not as good as the Tacoma TRD Off-Road or the Tacoma Limited, are both far cheaper than them, with the SL being $10,000 less than the Limited. Still, the desirability problem as well as the overall depreciation issue makes the Frontier a tough sell for those of us who don't intend on keeping a single vehicle for more than a few years. That said, if you want to keep it for years and maybe even decades to come, the Nissan Frontier, thanks to its extremely low price for the higher models, might be a good choice for you.